Good morning, my dear students of class 7.
Today, again, I am here with the continuation of the same chapter which we have been doing since last 3-4 videos. So, today we'll be learning about many more things, and with this we'll be finishing this chapter as well. So today the chapter is the same, ethics and safety measures of computing, and topics what we are going to cover today is software piracy, intellectual property right, safety measures while using computer or internet, and the last one will be digital footprints, right? So look here. This is about software piracy. I'll be explaining about software piracy when I start this. Intellectual property right and internet safety whenever you are using the computer, especially when you are using internet, how to be safe. And the last one is digital footprints. Okay, various types of digital footprints and how you can avoid doing that. So let us start. First is software piracy. The moment you see this word piracy, what comes in your mind? Sea pirates, you must have read in the stories or must have seen in the comics. Okay, so pirates are the ones who steal. Okay, and that is why this danger sign is there. So software piracy is not good. It is illegal. One should not do this. Let us talk about the definition of software piracy. It is the illegal reproduction and distribution of software applications. Before I explain this, have you ever heard about video piracy? Sometimes some heroes, the actors like Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan and others, they come on your TV screen and tell, don't buy pirated videos. Have you ever heard about that? When you go to the markets to buy an original CD or DVD, it may cost you more. If you are buying a duplicate one, it will cost you very, very less, very minimal. But what is the difference between these original CDs or DVDs and duplicate ones? Original always is the best. You will have better audio and video, HD quality. And when you are going for duplicate ones, the audio quality is poor, video quality is very, very poor. Sometimes you cannot see the things properly there. And it's not at all preferable to buy this duplicate ones. So the same way when we are doing this for videos, same way it is also applicable to softwares. Many companies are there, software companies are there. They spend so much of money on developing softwares, and it is their right to sell it at a price. Okay, but someone else who is not authorized to produce it, what they are doing, they are reproducing it and distributing it at a lower price or maybe free of cost. So that is all about software piracy. It is the reproduction and distribution of software applications. Now, various forms of software piracy. The first one is end user piracy, copying software without the proper license. As you know that all the softwares are licensed ones. That means you cannot copy it. You cannot make the duplicate copies of it. But someone is doing that, it comes under end user piracy. The next form of software piracy is internet piracy. When you download the unauthorized copy of a software from the internet, it comes under internet piracy. Okay, most of the time we do that. Download the duplicate ones from the internet. Next, let us see. Pre-installed software piracy. Pre-installed. It is always done by the manufacturer of a company. Computer company. Those who make or produce the computers. What they do is, as you know, these softwares are very costly. Because the companies, they spend too much of money, efforts, time on this to develop. So the price is more. So what these computer manufacturers they do, instead of doing it once, they install it in many computers. That is also illegal. Okay? Illegal installation of a particular software on more than one computer by a computer manufacturer. We don't do it. It is always done by the computer manufacturer, those who produce the computers. Okay? So instead of doing it for one computer, they install it in many computers just to save money, which is an illegal act. Next form of piracy is counterfeiting. It is just as I gave you the example of buying the duplicate CDs, it is just like that. What we do, the software comes in the CDs or DVDs, selling of duplicate CDs of the original software at a low price. For example, latest Windows version. If you have to buy original software, you have to pay for it a handsome amount. But sometimes what happens? People use the duplicate ones, duplicate CDs of it, which they get at low price. It is done by somebody else. Again, it is also illegal. One should not do. Okay, because the original one is the licensed one, and we are making the duplicate of it and selling it at low price. Last one here is online auction piracy. So it is done online, selling of software that is never authorized for resale. A person is not authorized to sell any original product, but what they are doing, they are reselling it. Who is this? This is the third party. It is not the one who developed the software. It is not the company whose product is this. It is somebody else, the third party. What they are doing, they are reselling it. So that is called online auction piracy. Now look at this. Stop piracy. Why one should stop this piracy? What will happen if we don't stop this piracy? And how can we stop it? By not using the duplicate ones? By not downloading the duplicate softwares from the internet? When we do that, too many job losses are there. People lose their job in the IT company, in the software companies. The software companies, they have got very adverse effect because illegally somebody is selling their products at a lower price. So the revenue is also lost of the companies, and sometimes they have to close down their companies. Many of the IT engineers and the software developers, they lose their jobs because they are not paid according to their work. Okay, that is why we should not do this. We should stop piracy. Let us come to the next one. Now we are talking about intellectual property rights. In short, we call it IPR. Property means what? Something which you possess, right? Suppose if you have got a car, if you have got a house, it is yours. Nobody can claim it is theirs. So you have right over it. On your property, you have got the right over it. And it is also protected by the law. Someone takes your motorcycle or car without your permission, you can complain to the police, and that the person will be behind the bars because he doesn't have any right over your property. Someone comes forcefully in the vicinity of your house, you can call the police because it is your property, others are not allowed. Same way, whatever comes in our mind, any idea, any thought, anything we think, that is again our property. It comes under our property, intellectual property, and nobody can use our intellectual property. It may be something related with art. I have painted a nice painting. It is my painting, nobody else can use it. I have discovered something, again nobody can use it. I have got a company, I have given it a name. That name also cannot be utilized by anybody else or any other company. All these things comes under intellectual property rights. We have got the right over our intellectual property. Whatever comes in our mind, our ideas, our discoveries, our inventions, our artistic or literary work, anything, that is our property. Nobody can use it. If they want to use it, they have to take our permission. Without our permission, somebody is using it, it is illegal. So let us see the definition for this. Intellectual property rights or IPR. The rights related to the literary or artistic work. Anything related with literature or art which is done by us. Inventions. The scientists, they do invent the things and the discoveries. It is their right. It is their intellectual property. And if somebody is using it, that is illegal. So these are called intellectual property rights. We have got the right over our artistic work, our invention, our literary work and discoveries. Now, acts regarding the protection of intellectual property right. Government has made some rules and regulations. Some acts are made so that you can protect your property, intellectual property you can protect by these acts, okay, which are given to us by Government of India. In all the countries they have got the acts regarding this, rules regarding this. Now you must have seen this type of signs like TM, which is the trademark, copyright. Sometimes it is small c and one circle is there. You must have seen in your computer book as well. Copyright Cordova Publications. C within a circle is the sign of copyright. That means only this company, Cordova Publications, they have got the right over these materials. All the text which are there in the book, all the images which are there in the book, it is their property. Nobody can use it. If somebody is using it, it is illegal. So let us study about the various acts. The first one is Copyright Act. It protects the right of an individual on its artistic or literary work. I have made a painting, I have photographed something, okay, I have written a poem, I have written something, some article, it is my property, nobody can take it. So it comes under Copyright Act. Next one is Industrial Property Act. This is for the industries or the factories. It protects the rights of a company on its designs, formulations or names. You must have seen various types of cars. They have got different designs. So one design cannot be taken by another company because it is their property. Okay? Sometimes they use a particular color. Okay? So that also cannot be utilized by some other company. Some formulas they make in their company or in their factories which cannot be again taken by anybody else. Patent. It protects the right of an individual or company on its research work. All the companies, they have got a team of people who do the research work. So simply other companies or other persons cannot take their research work. It is patented in their name. For example, if a pharmaceutical company is there, it's making a medicine, a drug, other company cannot claim it is his or theirs. Why? Because the patent is in their company's name. Okay, it is their property. Nobody can steal it. Nobody can use or misuse it. Last one here, trademark. The companies, they have got their trademark. It gives the right of a company on its name. For example, Britannia, Maruti, okay, or any company. It cannot be utilized by any other company. Their logo, all the companies, they have got a monogram, logo, symbol. So that is always with them. It cannot be taken by somebody else. Their color, their designs, whatever they use it on their products. So it is their property, they have got a right over it, and that right is trademark. It is their trademark. If I am making a biscuit company, I cannot use the name of Parle-G or something, Britannia, right? You must have seen some duplicate companies, they do it, but they change the name. If it is ever ready, they make it every day. Okay, so some other changes, they do it just to escape from this law. So these are the acts which helps you to protect your intellectual property. Now we'll be talking about the safety measures by using computer and internet. Using internet is very, very good, but it could be very, very dangerous if it is not used wisely. So there are some safety rules which you have to follow whenever you are using the internet. Now look here. This is the user. Whatever work is done in his or her computer, that is her property. It should not be taken by somebody else. So whatever is your work, it should be with you. You cannot give access to anyone. And how can you do this? How can you protect your things? What are the things you should follow when you are using the internet? Number one, install protective software. This is nothing but antivirus software. So you have to install antivirus software in your system, and time and then you have to update it so that it can detect the new viruses which are there in the market. The next one is you have to make a strong password. How can you make a strong password? Simply if you write Ramesh, Umesh, Mahindra, it's not going to work. Easy to crack. So what we have to do is we have to make a strong password. And how can we do that? You can add the letters, you can add the numbers, and you can also add the special characters to make it strong, so that others cannot take your information if your password is strong. The next one here is backup. Okay, here not backup. Control access to your system. Your computer should be used only by you or anyone else whom you allow. How can you do that? If your computer is logged on, don't leave it in a public place. Okay? And you should restrict it. You can make it password protected so that others cannot use or access your computer. Use email and internet safely. Using email safely, I have already told you about this. Never ever open the email which is sent to you by a person whom you don't know. Next, any email which has got an attachment, never open it. Any link which it is given there, don't use that link. That way you will be giving your information to somebody else. And protect sensitive data. Any sensitive data is there, that should be immediately removed from the hard disk so that others cannot misuse it. And the last one, using firewall. It is the best way you can save your computer. Okay? Others cannot peep inside your computer. They cannot take your sensitive information. So these are the ways you can use when you are using especially the internet. Now what is that picture? It's a footprint, but not the ordinary footprint. This is the digital footprint, and I'll tell you about this digital footprint. You must have seen when you are on a beach, you leave your footprints on the sand so that somebody can follow you. The police also catches the thief because of their footprints, right? So what it means, digital footprint? It is the information we leave on our computer while using internet, while doing any transactions, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay? So this is called digital footprints, when we leave our information on the computer. Digital footprints refers to impressions or traces left behind by the user when they are performing any online transaction or activity, like registering on a website, sending email, e-shopping, uploading or downloading any information from the internet. When we are doing all these things on the internet, we may leave our information. Suppose when we are using some website, they ask us to give our email address, we give. They ask for our phone numbers, we give. When we register, we give our name, our Aadhaar card number, whatnot. So when we do that, we are leaving our information with somebody else, and that is, we are giving our footprints, digital footprints, to someone else who can misuse it also. Now we have got various types of digital footprints. There are only two types of digital footprints, active and passive. Okay. The first one is passive footprint. When we leave the digital footprints unknowingly, you are not aware of it, like opening a website or sending an email. So without your knowledge, all these things are recorded in the computer. The history still stays there. Whatever work you do on the computer online, it is there. Unknowingly, you have left your digital footprints, your informations on the computer. The next one is active footprint. Here we are doing it, we are leaving the information intentionally because it is asked by the website. So we leave our name, phone number, email ID and other numbers. Okay? Whenever you fill a registration form or something, then you are leaving your active footprint there. Now let us discuss how we can safeguard from these digital footprints. The first one is never post inappropriate information on the internet, very easy. And use private browsing mode while opening a website so that history is not recorded. Any of the browsers you go, like Google Chrome or UC browser, you have some security settings. If you go through that and fix it, then what will happen? Whatever you have done online, the history will not be there. Okay? Always upload appropriate images on the internet. And the last one, never enter your personal details on the internet. Personal details should not be provided on the internet. The websites may ask you, but you should not give your personal details. So with this, we have come to the end of this chapter and the various topics which we did. So whatever I have taught you, how to take care, and what are the things you have to keep it in mind when you are using internet. It's not only for this chapter. This is what you have to practice in your day-to-day life whenever you are using your internet. Okay? So stay safe, stay at home, and have a good day.